we're going to bite a kneecap off. You like it? You like it? You like it?
I say more dumb things before 9 a.m. than most people say all day.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jordan and Fred Peterson. You guys are my hardcore. Good morning, Dwayne and Henry Gray. Hardcore. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, what's up? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome one, welcome all. It's Football Talk with Russell Wayne, and welcome to the show. And this is our everyday thing. We're broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions Villain Squad, the Detroit Lions News Podcast, as well as our YouTube page, which you can subscribe at Main Event 365. That means that we're doing football content 365 days a year right here on the Villain Squad, the Main Event Network right here. But this is the lull week, right? This is the lull week, especially for us losers, all of the teams in the NFC North that aren't going to be playing in the Super Bowl this week, because we got a matchup of these two different teams right here. But at least we're not in, there's two weeks of, gosh, man, I can't wait to get to the off season. It's two weeks of only the hardcore football fan is going to be on here watching on a day where, it's kind of like the dark ages for the 30 other teams that are out there. And the Lions they're in that. The Lions are in that. The rest of the teams in the NFC North are in that. How excited are you, though? I mean, it's Super Bowl week. Look at that. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, what is your Super Bowl excitement? Are you there? I mean, do you have any kind of Super Bowl excitement? Or is it just kind of like, I mean, the matchup? I mean, are you excited about the matchup on a scale of 1 to 10? Where are you at? You like the Super Bowl matchup? I mean, I like anytime you can, you can chase some history, right? You got Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's chasing Brady, right? I think he's at a disadvantage, but he's got a long way to go. I mean, Brady's even got the head up thing. I was talking to some people in the chats about that. It's like, if he gets to 5, he could be chasing Brady. You got to consider him to go. No, you can't. He's got to get to 8. You need 8 championships if you want to pass Brady because he beat you. You had a head-up chance to get one up on him, and you couldn't get it done. Brady beat you head up, so that puts you in the back, on the back burner. So, what is your excitement level? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your excitement level of this Super Bowl right there? What's up, Scotty Reno? Scotty Reno's in the house. Thank you for watching, Scotty Reno. Paul Jones, what's up? Oh, comments on the Pro Bowl game right here. Jordan says he saw Hutch, tug the whole AFC side into the pit. And CJ Stroud looking like he was taking flag football way too seriously. That's all I watched on the Pro Bowl. I don't know. I was kind of underwhelmed. The Pro Bowl, I don't know. I can't consider it anymore. I mean, I'm glad that they took the seriousness out of it. Maybe he is taking it too seriously. Henry Gray says he's a 2 or a 3. Dave says that he's a 4. So, I don't know. That's lukewarm. My Super Bowl excitement, it's lukewarm. Taylor Swift's going to be out there, right? Does that make it exciting? Taylor Swift? Sir Charles chiming in on football. Look at you, Sir Charles. I can't look at that mirror. Oh, hey, look her. If you're screaming about Taylor Swift and saying that she ruined your football, then you're a loser. Okay? I mean, that's Sir Charles together. Look her. If you're screaming at Taylor Swift saying that she ruined all the football, it's terrible. It's terrible what you're saying about that young lady, that beautiful young lady. I can't believe that you would say that. The champ is here. Oh my gosh. Welcome. Gosh, how you guys doing out there today? Are you excited? It's Super Bowl week. We're feeling good. Football talk with Russell Wayne. Patrick Mahomes looking to go back to back. I mean, that's when was the last time that happened? I didn't even look that up. When was the last time someone went back to back? Was it did the Patriots do it? They went back to back, didn't they? I mean, do we have to give the Cowboys credit? Was the Cowboys? That wasn't it, was it? So I don't like the teams. Dwayne says he doesn't like the team. Jordan says he's a 4 on excitement. I would probably put myself a little bit more than that. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy on this. I'm not like a 10 or something like that, but I'd say I'm a 6 or a 7 because I like anything that has to do with, like the historical fact right here. So, I mean, I think that Mahomes can do something special here. Getting 3 championships. They go back to back. That's something that's special.
Acknowledge me.
The tribal chiefs. The tribal chiefs are trying to, create the dynasty. He signed that big mega $500 million deal back. And oh my God, I can't believe he did that. That's so much money. Blah 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 blah. like now he's just kind of like in the middle of that list somewhere, right? He isn't even the highest paid quarterback anymore. I saw something that said he was like 8th on the list. I mean, come on. Come on. So my excitement level, I mean, I would say that I'm a 6 or 7. Bear Down Mike says that he's a 6. Sick and tired of seeing Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm actually looking at that like a good thing, like 6 being a good thing, and you're looking at it like you're sick of it, so you're not excited about it. We just want to get through it, right? We just want to get through it. We want to get to our off season. You know? Like, we got the season premiere, our off season premiere. We're going to get Ken Doby in from the Hallis Hall Report. And we're going to bring in some takes on these other teams in the NFC North. We're bringing them all in. We're going to get these off-season takes. We're going to look at some free agents. We're going to get into the grind. But we're moving. We're moving to the afternoon, folks. February 12th, the day after the Super Bowl. We're moving this party to the afternoon. Jeremy B is going to take over the slot. And, yeah, it's going to be fun. We got 2 of these shows. We got a morning and an afternoon show. And we're going to be covering the entire off season. So only the hardcore ones stay. The hardcore ones are the ones that started this whole thing. And, you know, Bear Down Mike and A-Dub and Steve, the OGs, Robert, the OGs. Hoping that when we move it later, we can get some of our West Coast Lions fans that we know and love, like the West Coast Stat Master. Hoping to get him on here with that. You know, I know guys like Ken Doby are retirement. It's hard to get them up that early in the morning. I get it, man. But we want to be talking football. 365 days a year, and we have fun doing it. And we're in a Super Bowl week. And we're excited. You know, not kinda. This show ain't. This panel ain't. This panel of people ain't. I'm not seeing too much excited. 3.5? Man, he couldn't even give him a full 4. Couldn't even give you a full 4. You're not on the Brock Purdy magic. Brock Purdy. Oh my God, Brock Purdy.
He's my quarterback.
Mr. Irrelevant. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see Mr. Irrelevant. You know, what's the most exciting Super Bowl you ever seen? You know, let's change the subject. I mean, we want excitement, right? Some of the most exciting Super Bowls ever. You know. Yeah, Ken says we get our sleep when we are retired. Yes, you get the sleep to get the sleep in. It's good. It's good. He's earned that spot. He's earned those stripes, right? And it's Super Bowl week. And I had a couple of the questions that were in there. You know, what is the greatest Super Bowl that you've ever seen? And I did a little bit of research on this. I mean, what are the greatest Super Bowls ever? I mean, let's be honest right here. I was looking up an article right here. I got this article. It was from the NFL, the Jacksonville.com, Florida Times Union. And they were talking about how the Super Bowl has seen more blowout games. The Super Bowl has seen more blowout games than, you know, games that were competitive. So, you know, and I'm going back through and I wrote down, hold on a second. Yep. And I'm writing down some of these Super Bowls. And it's like, until recently, and I think that has to do with salary cap and the rookie salary cap. And some people might say it has to do with the script. I don't care which side you're on right there. But there really wasn't a lot of competition, you know, back in the day. You had your dominant teams. But we'll go back and I want to put, you know, if you want to say greatest Super Bowls ever, you know, what's the greatest Super Bowl you've ever seen? And then I'm going to give you mine, obviously. But I wanted to give you all the ones that were at least like one score games that were, pre Super Bowl to give some love that's out there. There are some good rivalry Super Bowls too. But 1971 Super Bowl number 5, the Baltimore Colts and the Dallas Cowboys. Baltimore winning Super Bowl 5, 16-13. That might be on the list. 1970. I'll tell you what. The Super Bowls were not competitive until you got into the 70s. Right? There was a couple of years where it was just kind of like dominated, But then in 1971, 1973, Miami winning 14-7 over the Minnesota Vikings. And then you have, there you go, 1976. This is the day, the year after I was born. The Pittsburgh Steelers, getting into a slugfest right here with the Dallas Cowboys. What a great rivalry in the 70s between the Steelers and the Cowboys. So some argue, especially Steelers Nation, would argue that those 70s, like 1976 and 1979, those Cowboy matchups, 21-17, 35-31, that those were the best matchups in Super Bowl history. You never know. Then you get into the 80s, and then really San Francisco and Cincinnati. In 1982, in 1989, one San Francisco won 16-13, the other one San Francisco won 20-16. You might say that those were the greatest Super Bowls of all time. I don't know. 1991, the New York Giants and the Bills, the missed field goal. I think Jim Kelly's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He dominated the AFC for 4 straight years or something like that. And they never got it done. And then in 2000, Rams and Tennessee. Rams versus Tennessee. You got to put those into the hat. And and the ones that are the newer ones, I mean that's cool. I mean, there's been lots of good Super Bowl matchups that have came down, to the end. 2013, Baltimore versus San Francisco. That was Joe Flacco, baby. That's the comeback player of the year. I can't believe they gave comeback player of the year to Joe Flacco over Hamlin. I mean, how he came back from dying. Like, I mean, it's a cool story. Joe Flacco coming off of the couch and everything, and getting them to the playoffs.
Playoffs?
But Hamlin died on the field, so there's that. So I don't know. There you go. But Joe Flacco, that's one you might want to throw in there. What do you think the greatest Super Bowl of all time? The greatest Super Bowl that you've ever seen. How about that? The greatest Super Bowl that you've seen. That would probably include all these new ones. I got into some of those old ones right there. Out of all the old ones right there, I got to give the nod to that Tennessee versus the greatest show on turf is the greatest Super Bowl that I've ever seen. So let's see what we got in here. Born in 85, so yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was born in 75. But I wanted to throw these other ones in there, but there's been a lot more parity and a lot more competitive Super Bowls, recent. I mean, in the 70s there were 4 competitive Super Bowls. The other ones were more than 10-point blowouts, right? In the 80s, There was only 2 good games in the 80s. The other ones were blowouts, right? And then you got the 1991, all the 90s were blowouts except for 1991. So you really didn't get really good competitive Super Bowls right until Brady joined the league. Honestly, the year 2000, and that was the greatest show on turf. And that, to me, that was the greatest game that I've ever seen. I mean, it came down to like a 1 yard line, stretching it out. I mean, I don't know. I mentioned some of these older ones in here because I wanted to make sure that I gave Ken Doby his love here because I know that he's into the history of it. So I dug up these historic ones, and those were the competitive ones. The other ones were blowouts too. Yep. Right there it is. Right there. The Rams and Titans, the difference was a foot. That was literally a 1 foot play. And I look into that Super Bowl here. Let me go. I brought up those stats, right? Kurt Warner in that game, 24 for 45 for 414 yards. And the story of that game was they held Marshall Faulk in those St. Louis Rams to 17 yards rushing. They made him one-dimensional. And Steve McNair almost brought that team back. Yeah, I remember watching that game. And just thinking, wow, this is I'm witnessing maybe the greatest game of all time. And it still holds true. Like the energy at the end of that game. And that's just my opinion. Who's your favorite? Fred chimes in right here. I like this one. Patriots versus Seahawks. Should have given Lynch the ball. I love that. I also loved the and I'm not a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, but that catch with I can't remember who made the catch. Was it Santonio Holmes maybe in the back of the end zone in that Steelers Super Bowl win? That was a great one. So what's yours? And the thing is I think that recent history is better when it comes to this. When they first started making Super Bowls, I'm not like, a wizard at the history of it, but you had 2 of the conferences that never played each other. All of a sudden we're like, you had your champion, and then they decided to have a Super Bowl, and one side was better than the other. Whatever side Green Bay was on was the better conference for a few years. I could be wrong on that, but it looked to me, when I'm looking just at the scores of these games, it's like it took a few years for the games to get competitive. Super Bowl 1, you're 35-10, 35-14, 16-7. That was maybe a little bit better. 23-7. But the first 1-score game came in 1971 with the Baltimore Colts and the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, so what do you think? I want to go over here. Maybe we can move on from this one. In the 80s, the NFC just crushed that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The 80s, there was 2 competitive games in the 80s. There was only 1 competitive game in the 90s. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe they were closer to the end. But let me when you get into the 90s, let's look at that. 37-14, 52-17. This is the 90s. These Dallas Cowboy teams. 30-13, 49-26, 27-17, 35-21, 35-24, 35-19, 1999, and then finally you got the St. Louis Rams. So as much as they dominated in the 80s, it was even more dominated in the 90s. Well, dominating wins. I mean, yeah, the NFC just crushed the AFC as far as a conference. But what was your favorite? My vote is for that Greatest Show on Turf versus Steve McNair. You know, Eddie George. I mean, that was about as good of a team. You know, the most complete team. I mean, that was a complete Oiler team. I know they say Tennessee, but that's the Oilers. You know, it'll always be the Oilers. Damn it! How can you? Where you get? What kind of oil? What kind of oil getting in Tennessee? Got to get them back there. Get them back there to Houston. Come on. Anyway, I'm old school like that. I am old school like that. So, what about? Let's go to the other side of that. I love these type of. You know, this is the reminiscing. I figure I should have all Packer fans on here today. They love talking about their trophies. They love talking about them beat downs. You know, it was the most disappointing Super Bowl ever. You know, looking back through that history. Anything more disappointing than I can't remember what year it was. I think it was in the 90s. It was the 49ers, right? Over the Denver Broncos. Oh, man. I got to find it. Where do you go? 49ers. Yeah, 55-10. Joe Montana. That's how you do it. 1990. The Denver Broncos. I remember that game so vividly. The most disappointing Super Bowl ever. I was just ready. You know, you're ready to see, a shootout. It's Joe Montana and John Elway. And if I remember correctly, Denver got their points like on the first play of the game. You know, they opened up with like a play action pass, and then he just fired that ball down the field. It was touchdown. It was 7-0. It was 7-0. Broncos. I'm like, oh yeah, it's on. And then, yeah, the rest is history. 55-10. Joe Montana and Jerry Rice put it on them. I mean, I don't know if that's the most, maybe I worded that wrong. Maybe it's not the most disappointing Super Bowl ever. That's the wrong question, Maybe surprising. I guess you could use the most surprising will work in that. Most disappointing, most surprising. What is that? The most disappointing Super Bowl. I would have to say, I got to vote. I mean, obviously that was like the biggest blowout ever, but it was so surprising because I think I am right there. I think it was Denver that scored first. And then, yeah. Boom. Jerry Rice. That's what I'm saying. So this is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. This is the Monday edition. We're talking Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl week. We're going to talk Super Bowl. Right? We are in the off season, but I am in the uncomfortable limbo spot, right? It is part of my duties to not talk about the off season of my teams yet because it's Super Bowl week. I may have some breaking news or something like that for some of the teams or whatever, but for the most part, we're talking about this Super Bowl. I mean, we talked about what the greatest Super Bowl that you've ever seen. And And what is your excitement level on this year's Super Bowl? From a scale of 1 to 10. That way you got a nice little range right here. I started doing 1 to 100s because 1 to 100, that's even better. You can get more detailed. Like those like Olympic ratings with that. 1 to 10. You put the point system in there. 9.2. My Super Bowl excitement. Cause I can't wait to see Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is ruining football.
Hey, look here. Sir Charles, what I'm going to say right now is if you're screaming at Taylor Swift saying that she's ruined football, that's terrible. That's terrible. And I don't like the way that you're talking about. It's a beautiful young lady. It's a beautiful young lady. She's got a beautiful spirit. It's a beautiful heart. It's terrible. It's terrible the way you're talking about Taylor Swift.
Man, you know, Sir Charles coming out and making his presence known in the football community. He's gonna let us know. Relax on Taylor Swift. She's not ruining football. She gets excited. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on it. People talk about it. I really don't care. If she wants to go to football games, let her go to football games. I don't care. She wants to get fired up and date a football player. I mean, people are going to talk about it. So, I don't think that she's being overboard and like trying to use it to promote her like album or anything like that. I mean, I think she gets genuinely excited and she goes and she has fun at the events. I mean, could you imagine hanging around with Travis Kelce's brother, him ripping his shirt off? I mean, that dude seems like he's pretty much like the ultimate party animal. Jason Kelce, it's kind of like Chris Farley reincarnated. So, let's see what Brent says that the only thing I'm into about the Super Bowl is that I want the NFC team to win. Okay, so you're rooting for Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant. I don't know if I really have a dog in this race. I would say that I'm going to come from the gambling perspective for you. For one, I don't really do that, but I do enjoy picking games versus spread. And I'll put something down on like the Lions to win the Super Bowl and stuff like that. But other than that, I'll tell you about the spreads, and I'll be as real as possible. I try not to put my emotion into it. And this is a great game to really, I don't have a lot of emotion into it. And the thing is, I would take straight line bets on not betting against Patrick Mahomes. It is what it is. I mean, you watch the regular season after regular season after regular season with Patrick Mahomes. And you find holes in the game or whatever. And for whatever reason, the defense starts playing good or whatever. But it doesn't matter who he has with him. You always have a chance to win when it comes with Patrick Mahomes. And I don't know if I could ever wager money against him. Not in this game. I watched what the Lions did to that defense. Now, granted, they don't have what the Lions have up front, but still, Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. So, like, well, I don't know. They prove that they can get beat on the back end, It seems like Patrick Mahomes has a pretty good connection with Rashid Rice. I don't know, man. I wouldn't bet against him. Back to back. Could they be back-to-back champs?
It's my quarterback.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes, it is what it is, guys. Like, sometimes I love to be I know when I'm being a hater, right? And Patrick Mahomes was one of those, you know. Yeah, they're gonna figure him out. He keeps coming back year after year, and in one of the most competitive NFLs that you're ever gonna see. I mean, you can argue that with me. I don't care, but the NFL, there's never been a more competitive landscape than the current NFL, with the way they have everything set up, with the salary cap, with and some people say that's a myth, but it does keep a lasso. You know, when teams go, they can go. You can manipulate stuff. You can get extra players. I understand all of that, but the rookie, the rookie wages or whatever, when they came up with that leveled the playing field. And now, like, it's the players that you can get on these rookie deals, and you can build your franchise around these. And it really makes it so you can rebuild a team. You know, you look at this year's Lions as an example, probably next year's Bears and Packers, because they have extra picks. You can retool, and you could rebuild a team pretty quickly. And there's models, there's recent data that shows that that's what it is. So Patrick Mahomes has not only got a chance to go back to back, but he has a chance to go back to back in one of the most competitive eras of football ever. What are you going to do? Patrick Mahomes. Now, Brock Purdy, I mean, the sky's the limit, man. I mean, you can go in there and you can make your own history. Ain't nobody listening to numbskulls like me. I don't know anything. You know, I just watch these games like y'all. I'm just a fan like y'all. And I witness greatness every time I watch Patrick Mahomes out there. I've tried to stop him, and he gets it done. Gets him to at least the conference championship every year. That's worth it. You know, whatever you're paying for that, right? Well, now you can't afford to keep Tyreek Hill. Whatever. I know how to run this team. So whoever you bring in here, I'm going to make it work. Travis Kelce's the greatest tight end of all time. Especially if he gets the Super Bowl. You know, it comes to, like, I mean, I've listened to the talk for years, but sometimes you just pass it. You just pass them. Okay. That's greatness. And Travis Kelce's doing that. If he gets another Super Bowl, that's 3. Tight end with 3 Super Bowls. I mean, you know, putting up the number. He's already got the numbers. So I guess you could downplay the Kelce by saying this is a new era of football, and tight ends are used way differently now. So guys like Ozzie Newsome, it was more special for him to be like that. And that's fair. That's a fair argument. But But Kelsey, if you want to talk about the Mount Rushmore of tight ends, he's already on them. He's there. If he's not the number one tight end, he's on the Mount Rushmore already. I don't think that you can name me better tight end. But, I mean, it's different when you're looking at it because you're looking at those old school people. And, you know, you watched it happen. You know, you watched it happen in an era. Different people. You know, I get it. But sometimes it's like, man, we're witnessing greatness right now. We're witnessing greatness. Now, this, on the other hand, Brady is a ghost. Brady may be a ghost to anybody. I don't know if you can make an argument ever that somebody would be greater than Tom Brady. I mean, to me, when it comes to Tom Brady, what he would have to do now, he missed the biggest opportunity that he had, was to beat, you know, an aging Brady on the back of the end of his career. You know, to pad those stats, he would be going for number 4 right now with Brady at 6. But Brady beat him. So all these people that think that, you know, if he gets to 5 Super Bowl, he can already call himself the greatest, that's nonsense to me. That's nonsense. Brady beat him. So to me, if he wants to chase and get to Brady, he needs 8. You got to beat him in. You have to get more championships because he beat you. And Tom Brady's so great that, like, you know, they used to have that conversation where, is it Belichick or is it Brady? It's Brady. And if you deny that he answered that question, then you're delusional. It isn't Belichick or Brady. Belichick or Brady. Belichick or Brady. It's Brady. Brady proved it. He went to a different team and won a Super Bowl with a different team. And New England turned into a dumpster fire until they fired him or whatever. He got to the end of his contract. Agreed to part ways. So, Bill Belichick, you know, I mean, he was the benefactor of having the greatest quarterback of all time. And he got to build a roster around the greatest leader of all time. And Lion fans should know what that feels like, to have culture. And with Brady there, I mean, he'd make a hero out of anybody. Think about how many receivers came to Brady and then they left and vanished. Brady made people around him better. And it has way more to do with the leveling up of more ships, you know, as a rising tide will level up all the ships. That's the type of player Tom Brady was. He made the people around him better. Now, Patrick Mahomes is that way too. But Tom Brady's not only did he do it, but he did it for a long period of time. And I'm a Buckeye fan, guys. This is a harsh reality that I had to come to. And then once it washed over me, it wasn't that hard to understand, because the common denominator is Tom Brady. Oh, they had a loaded team down there in Tampa Bay. Yeah, but they didn't have a quarterback that could lead them. Tom Brady goes, boom. All of a sudden it clicks. Common denominator. Oh, why are the New England Patriots bad? Well, Tom Brady left, and there's no replacement for that. Your team's trash. You're an older version of Matt Patricia without the beard and the pencil. Overrated. Overrated. You got help. You got help with the greatest quarterback of all time, Bill Belichick. It wasn't the other way around. Everybody told you that it was the other way around all your entire career. You didn't realize that leadership was leveling up. The tide was rising, leveling up all the ships. And when you lost him, you lost that. You lost the fact that he made everybody around him better. And then you were just left with your team. And now you got Patrick Mahomes going, chasing the ghost of Tom Brady. And he is a ghost. He is a ghost to everybody. And going back to back, getting your third Super Bowl title is a step in the right direction. If you're trying to chase the ghost of Tom Brady. But you ain't worried about that, really. You just got to start stacking them. People will start talking about it when you get to 5 and 6. I'm just giving you my scale. He beat you. He beat you. And if you want the legacy that Tom Brady has, you want to put that type of pressure onto Patrick Mahomes, then this is a must win. Then this is a must win for Patrick Mahomes when it comes to chasing Brady. But you never know. Mr. Irrelevant could be coming through. Mr. Irrelevant. All right. Lions Talk with Russell Wayne. That is me. Each and every, and we're moving. We're moving. Next week, the day after the Super Bowl, we're moving to the afternoons, 3 p.m., so I can get my West Coast people on. Kind of in the early afternoon for them. And we're talking football. We're talking off season. You know, on the Lions Villain Squad. I understand that we are Lions fans, but we are going to take a look during the offseason. We're going to keep tabs of everybody in the NFC North. You got to watch these guys, man. They're all sneaky. They're all sneaky deaky. They're trying to, pull moves behind our back, but we won't let them. We got some intel. We got Ken Doby from the Hallis Hall Report. We got some intel. We might even get some of these guys from the Frozen Tundra Network on here, from the Green Bay Packer clan. As some of these off-season things happen, we got to know what these cheeseheads think. I mean, what are we going to do about it? We need to be educated. And that all starts February 12th in the afternoon, on the afternoon show. We'll keep tabs on the NFC North. We're going to review everything that's happened, starting with our Lions. And we're going to move our way through. We're going to look at these off seasons. We're going to be looking at some free agents. Because that's going to be that time. Right now isn't that time. Right now, just like the other 30 teams that got podcasts that go 365 days a year, you got to go through these weeks of torture. Because I can't talk about my team right now. I got to talk about the Super Bowl. What kind of shit is that? Sorry. I've been trying to mind my P's and Q's. This is a PG-13 segment. But I'm sick and tired. But we got to talk about the Super Bowl. But I am happy that the Lions made it all the way to the NFC Championship. And that there's only 2 weeks of this. You know, we did have some breaking news last week, which kind of softened the blow a little bit about being able to keep one Ben Johnson, who says that he ain't leaving. He ain't leaving. He's staying in Detroit. So that was nice. That was nice. But thank you for joining me today on Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Faith, family, and football. That's the way we do it around here. We got a link in the description that is for our outreach ministry at NTC Church. They're doing great things there. They're trying to distribute hope to the community in Genesee County, in the area. And anybody that uses that link, just know Pastor Galloway in this church, they're doing it the right way. And our services every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. I get to play in the praise and worship team, and I would love to see you out there. Faith, family, and football. The family and football, well, that's easy, folks. We just keep doing what we're doing. We keep fanning hard. We keep loving our football team, and you know, hopefully you support this program right here. And use football for these moments. Don't let football use you. Don't turn into a butthole now that your team's lost, okay? It's okay. It's okay. We'll move on. We're going to move on. And then next week, starting Monday, we're moving to the afternoon. Football Talk with Russell Wayne, hitting that off-season edition. So may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you till we meet again tomorrow. Football Talk. Russell Wayne, still in the morning.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabenda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. You have a great day.
Play my game.